I know there's no scaffolding inside at the moment, but the rules are we have to wear a hard hat, right? And basically they let me do this sort of thing providing I keep the rules, which actually means you're welcome to take as many photographs as you like, but leave your hard hats on. And then in through the porch, not the porch, there's a window in the porch there, which I'll show you later, right? Broken there, but that window's only about this size. Then they came in here, lit it well under the organ, took the Royal Naval Association's laid up standard off the wall behind the pulpit there, used it down there to light books in the font and 4 separate fires down the back. So it's quite a determined effort. And then what happened is, this is the information of the forensic fire service people, it would have smouldered for 10 to 12 hours. Now what was unusual about why that worked was, the smouldering, it would have filled the roof with a thick black, very highly volatile smoke, so that when the church door was open, you had what they called the flashover. And Nick Fox, the plumber, was having his sandwiches out over the road the other side, and within 10 minutes that roof was falling in. And it had all that structure underneath it, because that structure's been replaced. In the last 3 weeks, that's gone. All the soil's gone, which has gone 3 or 4 steps up to the high altar. That's all gone. Now what's going to happen is that in the future you'll come in at this door and you'll have a balcony across here, right? There'll be a balcony here, and then across somewhere about here you'll see glaze, oak with glaze, which will stop the draft and the air coming in. Then you've got your balcony, so you'll have some stairs go up in that corner. Then you'll see oak fronted, but it'll actually be disabled toilet, right? And then another little piece, because there'll be a seat unit behind that. For whatever reason, they laid ashes against the church wall outside, and of course that meant we couldn't build a toilet on the back there, which would restrict the space in what is already a small church. So that's I was up on the scaffolding with him when he put the last piece in, and all he did was just rubbed it and then dropped it straight in. And what you can't see with the naked eye is that there's a 4-inch twist on that chancel arch, and if you don't put it back into the same footing as it was in, you'll upset the structure of the buildings. There's a lot of skill in getting a lot of those things right, which you'd never see with the naked eyes. Were down and charred, and she drew them by hand and then measured. And all of this has to be measured, because there was no plans in the diocese, the county, the museums, anywhere. And so that's all drawn back from ruins and her own measurements and her own hand. And she couldn't work out why one of the beams they took down was a different size to the others. So she did all the measurements, she worked out why, and put a note on the drawing which I saw as to what it was. Then in the chasing to find drawings, we realised that a chap called Wyatt, who designed all the 4 churches you're aware of, was president of the Royal Society of Architects at one time, or whatever the correct title is, and that they keep a few drawings of each architect in one of the London museums as a record of those people. Shona was, we contacted and did all the necessary stuff for that. Shona was going to London, and she went to London, went to the museum, and to cut a long story short, it was St Mary's that they kept with him. And all they have though, and we've got copies of them, is plans about this size, right? But nothing like the detail you've got now of everything. At the moment, white, the white boxes, plastic boxes. Yeah. You get the right light here, but it's a leaded window, clear windows, except that about the width of my finger is light green tracing all around the edge, right? To take the plainness off, and then higher up you'll see about as big as my little finger, some flecks of green just to take the plainness off. It's really light and it's absolutely beautiful. And that all those windows have been done by a little family firm, 3rd generation family firm. So that's what's done, and that's similarly starting again, rekindling. Because there's going to be a stone floor, we're doing away with the chancel step, because that's, a nuisance to people. The steps to the high altar, you begin to see how that will move, the steps to the high altar with this brick wall. And so it'll have a stone floor and underfloor heating. Yeah. So it'll have temperature in the back all the time. Then you might say, why is this being knocked out in the walls here? got a in here, they put this little lid in, and you'll see some other pieces of metal gone in there. It's also got the air vents being moved in and down and under the stone floor, but you don't have radiators there, and that's because the air source heat pumping will generate enough heat for the background heat under the stone floor, and then when there's a service it will automatically boost during the wet system through the radiator so as you've got enough heat. Joined on the oak curved armchair will be a pew that goes across the wall. Now that looks like one piece of furniture, but in fact the pew part that joins the chair, they come apart. And then the pew part is actually stackable in groups of 5. You know, 2 of us can move them quite easily. So it will look and feel like pews in a church, but equally, because it's movable, you'll have the flexibility.
Oh, that's
so
great.
if you want to do something in the round, right, rather than that. And you've got a dozen nice oak carved armchairs. That's
brilliant.